Okay, we are in the home stretch, and we have Robert DeVassie. He's from Region 1, and he is an RECP, our wonderful acronym. And Robert is a candidate for the Project Management Professional Certification, and he's going to talk about that. And on November 18th, think kind thoughts, because that's when he is taking his test.
So is Kelly.
And Kelly, that's right.
So wish us both luck.
So Robert, take it away.
All right, well, thank you, everyone. Hey, final stretch, last presentation before David hands out the certificates. So hopefully you guys are excited. I hear a few stomachs growling, and it's probably mine. So a little bit about myself. So I served the state of Alaska for 20 years. And 5 was with the Parks Design and Construction, so we did a lot of cradle and grave. And then I moved over to Alaska DOT for 15 years, a couple years in aviation design, and then about 12 to 14 years with highway and project management. And then I got a call from ODOT and got the opportunity to work for ODOT. So like any project manager, I negotiated the schedule to when I would start, and then packed up my family in a U-Haul. We towed a vehicle and drove one car down the Alaska Highway. While we're packing everything up, getting everything cleaned up in the condo before we were in the process of selling it and getting everyone in the car, and we are about to leave. We, as we're getting things cleaned up, we get a call from the realtor. They want to show the condo, but they're going to be there an hour earlier. So we're like, okay, we can still do this. We got enough time. You know, I got 3 kids, a dog, and my wife and I are trying to get every little last minute thing done. We think we can do it within the schedule, and we get everyone in the car, and the car doesn't start. The realtor's on her way to show it, and she needs us to be out. Luckily, the realtor gets there, jump starts us, and as we're pulling out of the driveway, the person that came to see the condo shows up. So just in time, made it. But does that sound like kind of a project that you've worked on before? Just getting the mobility checklists approved just in time, or something like that? So we all have good intentions. We all want to be able to coordinate early and try to get construction and maintenance involved early. But there's a lot of planning that's involved, a lot of coordination, a lot of communication, and lessons learned. So hopefully you guys got a lot out of this week. I know I did. So what I wanted to talk to everyone about was an opportunity to really improve the discipline. And like David was saying, this is a discipline. There's a lot involved. And Kelly and I, we've been studying for the past month with an online course and using the PMBOK book guide. Hopefully a lot of you guys have seen it. We also use a study guide as well, which is also a really good guide. I would recommend, Rita. And there's also these 2 documents in the back that have a lot more information. So how many here have taken the Oregon Project Management Certificate Program? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 10 people, I think. How many here have taken the PMP? Okay. So the difference between the 2, and my notes. As you can see, I mean, you can register on iLearn for the Oregon PM. It's through DAS, and I think I saw another university on the billboard there. Which one? Willamette. Yep, and then there's another one I think I saw on the billboard there. Follows the same guide as the PMP, 6 months, 4 classes per month. It may vary. There's a it looked like from reading off the billboard, there's a couple intermediate exams and then a final exam. Both of these are supported by ODOT. The PMP is globally recognized. So the Oregon one is recognized in Oregon, and then the PMP is globally. So which means a lot. So if you move or go or get another job, it's still recognized. It also follows the PIMBOK guide. To apply, it takes a couple hours to apply online. There's no cost. If you have a bachelor's degree, then it's I think 3 years. 3 years, and then if you have a high school degree, it's 5 years of experience in project management. You need 35 credit hours, so this course would qualify as your educational credit toward applying. Once you do get approved online, then you would have to pay a fee to apply for the exam, to schedule your exam. If you're a member, it's was it 405? Membership is $129, so you can save $10 if you become a member, than paying the non-member fee of $555. So depending on your supervisor and what ODOT would support, they do support education for studying. They may reimburse you for your exam. One thing that they won't support is the annual fee. So the annual fee, once you pass, is $150. If you're a member, it's $60. So that helps if you're a member as well. And there are some benefits of being a member of PMI. Yeah. So any questions so far on the PMP? Let's see. So within the PMP, there's a process group and some knowledge areas. The process groups involve initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, and controlling, and then closing. This is kind of what the PMBOK goes through. And a lot of the stuff you kind of saw in project delivery throughout this week. One that I want to really stress is on the project planning, because there's a lot that goes into it. And yes, it's a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, there is time up front, but by putting that time up front, identifying your risks, and putting together stakeholder plans and communication plans, it will save you time later on. And then within the process groups are our knowledge areas. And this is where this is where management becomes a discipline. You're talking about your integration management, your scoping management, schedule, cost management, quality management, resources, communication management, risk management, procurement management, and stakeholders management. So a lot of these all get tied into, and they also have plans that are tied to them that goes into a project management plan. For example, one of the knowledge areas is the integration management process. And in there, you'll see the process groups of initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, controlling, and closing. So as an example, we would first, develop our project charter, and then in the planning part, before kickstarting your project, you would jump into planning, and there you would develop your project management plan. Then you would direct and manage your project execution. Monitoring and controlling the project work is kind of going on, from initiating all the way to closing. And then, of course, managing your changes, and then at the end, closing your project. Bless you. So, I guess the question is, why get certified? For me, it was I wanted to get better at what I do. I wanted to understand how to manage projects with being comfortable and working with the different disciplines. As I moved into ODOT, and it's been just a little bit over a year, there was a lot of changing going on, and I noticed that ODOT was serious about management and it being a discipline and following the PMI processes, and I wanted to understand it better. So it was more knowledge for me, but being certified, being recognized as well is also important. Kelly had a great idea. Let's get a study group together. So we organized that in Region 1. And as we get closer to our exam date, we're cramming more and more. We got an online course that we're studying with. The books, the study guides are great. There's a lot of exercises and practice exams that we're doing. I even have an app called PMP Mastery, which is really good, and there's questions in that too. Some of the takeaways is, plan early, take a couple months and, read through the book, understand and ask questions, and, learn the processes, learn the knowledge areas, take exams, find someone to study with that would encourage you and keep you on task, because sometimes you want to go home at the end of the day instead of staying for a couple extra hours and studying. So, is there anything else? So, as Deanna mentioned, November 18th is our time to take it. There's 2 places in the Portland area. You may have places somewhere else that you have to, a test center. So we're going to take ours at a test center in Portland. And it's 4 hours, 200 questions, and multiple choice. You have 4 multiple choice answers, and you want to choose the best answer, not just the right answer. So with that, I think I have about 8 minutes left. If there's any questions, or even after this, if you want to just come find me or contact me. But if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer it. There are some useful links here. The RMCLS is where a lot of the study guides are. This is a well-recommended book. I enjoyed it, and we're using it now. Any questions?
Any questions for Robert?
And there are the handouts in the back that's got a lot of the answers too.
Obstacle course.
One of the themes I've been hearing over the course of the week is raising project management as a discipline. There's other types of professionals within ODOT. Is there any associated pay increase with getting a PMP or an OPMA?
Good question. Probably not within the public sector. Definitely in the private sector. I think there's probably more advancement than a pay increase. So, not that I'm aware of. Maybe someone else might have.
I'd like to actually add into that. Several years ago, when I wasn't at ODOT, I was at the Department of Consumer and Business Services, and I realized, I'm kind of flattening out. I was enjoying what I was doing, but I thought there could be more, and let's face it, the more you make, the better it is for your purse and your deferred comp. So what I did is I looked out and saw what jobs were available in the state, because I wanted to stay in it, and I noticed that there was a lot of project management in there. And I noticed as I was reading through it that they were requiring your Oregon project management certification. So light bulb went off, I checked it out, I took it, I got certified, and honestly, within a month, ODOT sent out a rotational opportunity to do that in what was formerly Strategic Business Services, now Project Management Office. Got the rotation, stayed there, and applied for the OPA job, or what is it called? The Operations and something, Policy Analysis 3. It was a promotion for me. So in my case, yes, it was more money. So it worked out for me. Any other questions?
Justin, one of our study partners.
Not a question, but more of a comment. If you take the Oregon-specific class, a lot of the questions from the exam are from the actual PMI Institute, and so a lot of this material is the same. So if you take the Oregon class, if you take the PMP shortly thereafter, and you're qualified to do so, It's a lot easier than if you wait a while like I did. I'm taking mine about a year and a half after I finished the Oregon class. Not recommended. More studying.
Just a quick note too is the exam is going to change July 1st. So right now we're using the BIMBOK 6th edition. So that will change after June. So you might want to take it early. I think they're going to get into more agile, more change-driven. Right now, it's testing a lot on plan-driven.
I see from the it looks like this is a fairly expensive course, which the area managers, don't quite embrace so much. I was just wondering, are you guys looking at a general fund to maybe help, make it so people could learn this and take this as an opportunity?
Was that directed at David?
So I know that budgets are challenged these days in the regions with indirect, and as we have trainings like this is a pretty big hit to your IN budgets. And the message I've been preaching to the regions is, one, ensure that every employee has a development plan. And as long as you have a development plan, it's consistent with your development plan, we're going to take steps to support each individual in terms of their professional development. We're currently working on operational notices specific to PE licensure and certification. I'm waiting for Steve Cooley to finish up his piece about what the agency is going to cover for expenses associated with getting a PE or professional license. And based on that, I want to mirror that on the project management side with the OPMCP and PMP. And so if we start to run into a situation where there are budget challenges, I've offered to help the regions cover some of that expense.
And just speaking from my last couple months of experience with the encouragement from Region 1 and from David's group is that nothing but just encouragement. And I'm very, very grateful because you kind of get that sense that, hey, this is something that they want to see more people take serious, and they're backing it up through support and dollars. So we were able to get a lot of our study materials covered, the books covered, reimbursement for the exam. So it means a lot to me because it gives me kind of peace of mind. We can study, they support it, and it's a great opportunity.
Is the Oregon certification program certified by PMI so it can double up as your education?
Yep. I mean, anything, when you register online and you enter in your education, that's probably the easiest part. And a lot of the stuff that we do on iLearn, including your Oregon certification, will cover your hours needed. The hard part is just the experience that you have to put in, and I had to do it a couple times just to get the right wording. They give you 500 characters for 4 years or 3 years, so you have to get the right wording. They'll send you an email and say, hey, this is what we're looking for. You can use abbreviations, so it's just getting in the right experience. If you have your management experience, 3 years, you should be fine. And then that's when you schedule your exam, and you have 3 tries within 1 year to pass. Hopefully it's just one. But a lot of the stuff that I've learned on this is, even by studying, is that I'm finding ways to better improve management, like using an assumption log, constraint logs, issue logs, risk management. So even by studying, you're becoming a better project manager. Any other questions?
Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, give you the gift of time.